Hey guys, do you ever wonder silently at night if you could backstab someone without actually being sneaky? Oh yeah, in a TF2, not in real life. Oh god. Howdy do partner, I've got the trick for you. Anyway, today we're going to be talking about Trickstabbing. Never heard of it? What are you, living under a boulder? No, of course you have. That's how you're able to look up this video, you friggin' Pringle. Anyway, in case your version of a hobbit hole is that rock I was talking about 2 seconds ago, well then let me educate you in the quickest way possible. But first, roll the intro! Hi, yes. Have you been in this situation?
Yeah!
No, not you, you silly goose. I'm talking to the spy.
But of course.
Well, you should. This scout knows exactly what you are. A filthy, uneducated, backstabbing Frenchman. But little does he know that you have a trick. Sorry, gotta stop doing that. You have a trick up your overpriced suited sleeveys. You end up tricking that scout to look another direction by juking him, and then stab. That, my good friend, is a trick stab. It's that simple. And so today we're going to be learning how to perform every single notable way to do these so-called trick stabs, and then go over the very specific details you might need to know in order to trick stab like no one's watching. Well, actually that's just a normal backstab, but you get the idea. The corner stab. The corner stab is our first notable trick stab in our spy bible. First, you lead an enemy player around a corner. That means in order to do this, you need a corner. Without a corner, then it would just be a normal stab, and we don't like doing things normally here on Thomas King Gaming. Anyway, you want to lead your opponent to follow you around a corner, then you strafe back around the corner towards his back. And since he's looking where you just were, and you're at his back, you can stab him guilt-free, knowing that you just performed a corner stab. This one is best performed quick, like all trick stabs, and cautiously. Most players, when following you around a corner, will assume you'll go for a corner stab, so they account for this by not falling for it. However, if you just pull out your handy-dandy revolver, you might actually be able to kill something for once. Also, this is probably the easiest stab to pull off. Anyway, next stab. The Matador. Are you in the middle of nowhere with nothing but an enemy medic wielding an uber saw around you? No corners to use, no stabbing to do, right? Wrong. You can actually do a corner stab without corners. Fun fact of the day. This is called the Matador. You perform this one by strafing around your opponent, then quickly strafing the other direction to meet their back before they notice, and you guessed it, you stab. This one can be configured with really well, and you can do it virtually anywhere, so just have some fun. For this stab, you're going to want to start your first strafe, or the juke strafe, and then strafe back around as quickly as possible. This will make the enemy assume you're turning for longer when you're not, allowing you more time to stab. The stair stab. Yes, we get it. It's taken a while to describe these, and you're annoyed at my childish voice. Well, let's just get this show on the road then. The next stab is the stair stab, and it's what you think of when you think trick stab. You perform a stair stab when you and an enemy are walking towards each other on a stair, to simplify it. Then you jump over them, turn around in a 180, press W, landing on their back, and stab them without them realizing it. You can effectively do this on any surface as high as a teleporter or higher, and doesn't need much momentum to work. The drop stab. The drop stab is the only stab that the enemy isn't supposed to know you're there for, also known as being stealthy. You need to be on a relatively high platform or area, drop down onto an enemy walking or landing by their back, and stabbing them. I mean, what do you think would happen? Try and predict when your enemy will turn around when you drop stab and then they'll turn back. If your opponent is checking behind them for spies, wait a second, then drop down so they'll turn back around right when you've come into their sight. Or would have come into their sight, I guess. Because you You don't want them to come into your sight. The understab. The understab is a fairly sexy stab that requires you to stab someone under them. Oh dear God, I hear you saying, I know. It's insane. Well, let me explain it before you start writing letters to the big man himself. In order to do the understab, you need someone to fall off from a higher elevation to you. This applies to anyone jumping off of platforms to attack you, or rocket/sticky jumping soldiers/demos. Pretty much anything coming from the sky will do. You then go under them, turn around when they're at your elevation, maybe a little higher, that'll work too, and then you stab, then they die. And then they rage quit, and now you're happy. Depression has been cured, everybody. I suggest tricking your opponent into thinking you'll go for a super cool epic matador, but you understab them instead. The circle stab. You can also call this one the strafe stab, but the circle stab is basically a matador, but you only go in one direction. You don't juke the other way. You strafe around your opponent in the same direction until you're at their back, because their mouse can't keep up with your strafing. Then you do a big epic and stab them like the beautiful prince you are. This can work best when there's a whole team coming to slaughter your nasty French face off, and they don't know that you can press the A key on your keyboard. Or D if you prefer to be particularly stylish. The surf stab. Are you good at the game? No? Well then don't worry about this one. It's useless to your little spy brain. What's that? You are good? Well then, let's continue. Just to be clear, I didn't mean to insult you, good viewer. I'm not much of a good player myself. Regardless, the surf stab is for very specific situations and is very difficult and situational. You essentially use the knockback, quote-unquote knockback, from enemies firing at you, best if it's soldiers, rocket launchers, or demo sticky bombs. You hop over the rocket or sticky right as it explodes to propel yourself forward over the enemy. Then, just like a stair stab, you turn around and hold W under their backs and stab, killing them in the flashiest way possible. Again, this will most likely never come into play in a real game for any normal spy. But here on the Thomas King Gaming channel, we are not normal. Remember that. Okay, now it's time for a bonus round. Air stab. You stab someone while you're both in the air. Usually you get around them by strafing and then you stab at their back. Flip stab. As you reverse stair stab, you walk backwards down a set of stairs or a ramp while the enemy is right in front of you, chasing you down. You jump, crouch, turn a full 180 all at once, which should get you on top of or behind your opponent. Then you stab. Again, you're probably going to get killed before you can even pull this one off, but it's super cool. Didn't even know it existed. Okay, cool. That's all the notable, in air quotes. Just, I use a lot of quotes. So if I say notable, just put some quotes in front of there. If that's all the notable trick stabs, feel free to mix some stabs like the corner and stair stabs. This would occur when an enemy is coming around a corner that has stairs or a ramp. You can find a lot of these on maps like Hightower. You just strafe around and over your opponent, drop down on your back and stab. It's like a corner stab and a stair stab combined. That's the whole point. You can also mix your stabs, and you need to learn how to take any objects around you and use them to trick stab. I mean, if you fail a trick stab, try a completely new one. Just learn to use the environment around you to determine what kind of trick stab you should do. Hey you, viewer, yes you. Welcome to the Thomas King Gaming office. We were here earlier, you might have noticed, but we're looking at this stupid screen. Now we're actually enjoying the environment. You filthy pleb. Anyway, you can take a look around, but for now, let's head outside. Wow, this weather is so great. Wow, leave a like for the weather. Okay, so let's take Mr. Sherlock here and say that he's an advanced trick stabber, so, he knows what's up. Now, he's gonna do a corner stab on this pyro, but he fails like an idiot. Now, watch what he does next. That's right. He just did a backwards stair stab, but actually that was me. I am indeed good at the game, and I'm not bad at the game. Thank you very much. Anyway, but he just failed a trick stab, and he did a better one. So, that's pretty cool. That is a good example of improvisation. The next tip is to Trickstab backwards if you can. If you can do that, then Trickstab backwards. That is pretty darn useful. If you can do a Trickstab while looking away from the player, that is always probably going to be more effective. However, they're generally they're more difficult to do. So here's a list of all the Trickstabs that can be done backwards. Literally every stab, except maybe the drop stab, but regardless, you should try practicing these two. Another tip is to not go for Trickstabs all the times. Pro spy tip here, just cloak, go beyond the enemy team, find your victim, and then, stab them. Don't be an idiot and walk into the whole enemy team saying, "Oh, it's okay because if I get caught, I can just Trickstab them." Like, dude, come on, that's freaking stupid. Only Trickstab when you absolutely need to. Use your gun. You have a gun, use it. It's good if you're in a bad situation for Trickstabs and you can't cloak away or the enemy's at low health, just shoot them with your revolver, please. Oh yeah, there's also a top 5 list of all the revolvers in the game, going from quote-to-quote best to worst. Yeah, here we go. Diamondback, L'Étranger, Stock Revolver, Ambassador, Enforcer. That's the number 1 best revolver to number 5 absolute crap. The Enforcer sucks and you should never use it. So now while I say the Diamondback is good and the Ambassador is second worst, I'm not even going to mention how much the Enforcer sucks, even though I just mentioned it. Just ignore that part. That doesn't mean you should always use the Diamondback. For example, the L'Étranger is so good at being a useful utility to help you have more cloak, and I love it and use it in stock all the time. It's just so great. But plus, if you're good at aiming, you can use the Ambi. I mean, it's all up to playstyle and preference. Just do what fits right for you, man. Be you. Anyway, finally, just go practice. I know a lot of people hate people who say that, but practice doing Trickstabs. It just makes progress. Practice doesn't make perfect, because perfection is not a thing. But just practice doing Trickstabs as best and fast as you consistently can. Speed is key, and practice makes progress, as I just said, and progress makes good players. And so yeah, now you know how to Trickstab. And I mean, there is like 15 other better Trickstab tutorials. I bet you'd listen to those copycats. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Leave a like if you did, and as always, peace out, guys. See ya. Goodbye. Oh god, holy crap, that was loud. Jesus.